Hi. Honestly, I just got back from work and I felt like I have to record this straight away so that it'll be very genuine and very honest. And you can tell it's very genuine and very impromptu and spontaneous because I don't have my pink cup with me. Um, Usually I will start the video with like drinking from my pink cup. I just came back from work straight away, take out my phone, take out my microphone, and just started recording. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing with my life right now. I don't know if it's because it's my third day of my period and I'm feeling hormonal or I'm genuinely burnt out. And I feel like I have no idea where my life is going. What am I doing? What am I doing with this YouTube channel? What am I doing with my social media? Despite having like planning what it looks like and all the content I want to do, planning like, oh, this is my content pillar, blah, 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 blah. I genuinely don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't really have a clear direction for this YouTube video either, but I feel like I still have to show up and shoot. And I wanted this video to be much more of a genuine and raw and vulnerable sharing because it's genuinely spontaneous. And I want to show people that sometimes you have to do stuff even though you have no idea what you're doing. Seriously, I'm just going to spitball right here. So bear with the very unstructured thoughts. I think it's very hard to continue to show up even though you don't know what you're doing. At least for me, like for some reason, these couple days, I just keep feeling like I have no idea what I'm doing in my life, with my career, with this YouTube channel. What am I doing in general? And it seems like everyone else sort of knows what they're doing. I'm pretty sure no one does. They're also probably just winging it. But sometimes that's just how life is. Despite planning and actually doing the things that we're planning, it still feels like you have no idea what you're doing. Even though you're doing them, you don't know where it's leading. And it just makes you feel sort of, I don't know, like very in a very foggy area, in a very weird environment. I have no words to say. I have no words to explain this because I did not really draft a script for this. But I think it's important to remember that you just still have to just show up and do it. It feels very hard, but there's nothing else to do. That's what I'm doing right now. Like, it's very hard to continue, and like I complain to my sister all the time about quitting. But what other choices are there? I know, of course, you can change your life, right? Of course, you can do stuff to change your life, but sometimes because of commitments or whatever, you can't just, quit and disappear, right? You can't just instantly take off unless you're very rich and you're from a rich family, then good for you. But for the rest of us normal folks, you still have to continue doing stuff even though you don't like to do them and you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. It's very tempting to quit. It's very tempting to stop. It's tempting to wait until you feel like you're more ready. You feel like you have things more in control. But it's only by doing and iterating and improving that you can actually see your progress, right? I think that's another thing that makes it hard to continue because when you're kind of getting caught up in all this everyday hustle and bustle and task and work, it's hard to see the progress that you've built because you're going through it every day. It's only after a couple months that you will actually see the drastic change and the drastic progress, right? You don't see it every single day, but it's only after you've put in your work, your hours for a couple months that you'll actually see a drastic change. And because we don't see that drastic progress every day, it feels like we're not getting that feedback. I don't know why I can't talk today. Oh my god. It feels like we're not getting back that feedback loop and we feel like we're not going anywhere, but we are in fact going somewhere. It's just that you can't see it yet because it takes time for it to actually manifest. For example, right? Like when you're losing weight, let's say you're staying with your partner and your partner sees you every single day and you go to the gym every single day or jog or whatever every single day. They won't be able to tell every single day that you are actually losing weight. In fact, like even after a couple months, they won't notice that you've started to lose weight, right? That's why people always take photos of the before and after to actually see, oh, actually there's been a lot of change. Because when you're doing your diet or you're doing your exercise every single day, you won't see that progress. It's only after a couple months or a couple weeks that you can actually see, oh, there is some change. I am actually doing something right. And I think this ties down to how our brains are wired. Our brains are wired for survival, not for uncertainty. If you think about it, right, like back in the ancient times when when you were in tribes and trying to hunt and forage stuff in the forest, I'm not sure. This is my assumption. We probably tried to avoid unfamiliar areas or uncertain areas because there's probably a predator lurking around, right? Probably go to somewhere that we know are safe to get some food and where we can predict our survivability. And I think that brain system is still continuing on today when you're, living daily lives, even though you're no longer hunting, even though you're not chased by any predators anymore, but because your brain is wired for safety, for survival, and when there's anything uncertain, this alarm systems goes off. Even though there's nothing dangerous, you feel hesitant or you feel scared. I think that's why uncertainty feels so scary, and why big steps or anything that you feel like you can't predict the outcome feels scary. I don't know for sure, by the way. I did not research this enough. Again, because this is a very impromptu video that I decided to do. So please check and make sure the sources or what I'm saying are right. If not, completely ignore what I'm saying. Anyway, moral of the story is, if you are going through something similar as me, where you have no idea what you're doing in life, where your future is going to be or is very unclear, it's going to be okay. I'm telling you as much as I'm telling myself. You're not alone, and you're not behind, or you're not failing. It's just your brain literally trying to survive. You don't need to know what the results are going to be yet. You don't need to feel confident every single time. You just need to show up despite the uncertainty and just take it one step at a time.